Hello everyone, my name is Bree and welcome to Documented Journey. Today I am going to be setting up a brand new bullet journal. I'm doing this in a Dingbats notebook. Okay, let's start from the beginning. In January of 2022, this year, I posted a video of the notebooks that I'll be using for the year. And in that video, you will see, and I'll list it in the description box for you for those of you who haven't seen it, but within that video, you will see that I have a Morning Pages notebook. That's a decomposition notebook. And then I also have a Weeks, which I was using as a memory keeper. And then I also have an Authentic Self journal, which I was pretty much using as a Dear Diary, as a prompt journaling book, just for me to dive deeper within myself and what's going on. And by March, or pretty much the end of February, I realized that I can't do all this. I can't keep up with it all. I can't keep lugging all these journals around. I just want one. And I know because I've been in this community long enough that we go through these ebbs and flows of separating all the stuff, putting all the stuff back in one book, separating all the stuff and putting it all back in one book. And I am, too, a culprit of this. I do this as well. As I am setting up this bullet journal, I will say that everything that I put into this book so far has been in my weeks. I love all the aspects of the weeks. However, I really despise the size. The size gets me every time. I also dislike the fact that all the sections are just that. They're in sections. Instead of it being 1 month all in the same place, it's different sections. So the monthlies are one thing, the dailies are one thing, the weeklies are one thing, and I would rather my months be together. And I knew this going into getting the weeks. I knew this, but I just like the idea of having the weeks. I like what it looks like. I like the portable size, because A5 is bigger than a weeks, and I realize that. But if I am going to be journaling all in one book, if I'm going to be planning and journaling and doing all these things, I need a bigger size. I thought of going into a pocket size, but I don't think, with the amount of journaling that I'm doing, especially with my Authentic Self journey, with the amount of journaling I'm doing, I need the bigger size. As I mentioned before, everything in this journal is in my weeks. For instance, this page that I'm working on right now, it's a picture of my kids and I thought that would be a really cool thing to include every month is a photo. And then the bullet points underneath are my future log, so things that are happening in that month that I want to remember. This right here is my calendar, or the March calendar, and what I'm using this for is my health tracker. I really like using a calendar for the tracker, and because I mainly do most of my planning on my Google Calendar, and my husband and I share calendars. This just works for me to be able to see the date in calendar form, but then also utilize the space. And what I do is I put a tracker at the bottom, which I normally track my workouts or my movement, my pills, because I'm anemic, so I need to make sure that I have enough iron. And then I also track my inhaler, how many times I have to take my inhaler, just to see where I'm at with my asthma and my cat allergies, because we do have a cat. So those are the 3 things I track at the bottom. And then in the boxes, I write what I did that day, something that stood out, maybe the exercise that I did, or did I have problems with my asthma today? Why? Could it have been that I haven't gotten outside, or maybe that it's the fact that I did a hard workout? Whatever the case may be, that's where I track my health and wellness. Just like the weeks, I have a weekly view, and this is kind of how I label it. So I have week 9 at the top, and then I have all the dates running through just like the weeks. It looks very similar. At this point, I track the weather underneath the actual date, and then I write a peak and a pit for the day. That's kind of how I did it in the weeks, and that's how I'm continuing to do it here in the bullet journal. On the right-hand side of the page, I'm going to start my journaling. I always stamp the date, and I think I'm going to keep this consistent for each month. I might change how it looks, but it's going to be consistent for the month, if that makes sense. Just like I've used the purple mild liner the whole entire time. I drew 3 boxes here. That is where I track my food intake, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I have since added a 4th bullet for snacks. And then this is where I'm starting my rapid journaling. I really love this method. I got it from Stacy Plans, and then I think I also saw it at Randy.plans. Anyway, they have icons for each aspect of their life, and they put the icon and then they journal about that specific thing. I've kind of changed a little bit to use a lot of the Hobonichi stencils. So if I went to the grocery store, I use that grocery cart, shopping cart icon, and I just fill that in. And I've been really loving this journaling method, and I love the fact that my month is together. If you're interested in an in-depth review of how I use the icons and how I do the rapid journaling, let me know in the comments. And until next time, everyone, I'll see ya.